Hi guys, welcome back. I wanted to give you all a 2-month update on 𝒋𝒐𝒍𝒍𝒐𝒘. I think I'm going to kind of be doing this chronologically. Chronologically? Does that one after the other?
Chronologically.
Yeah, I think I want to do this in chronological increments.
Use an inbred.
Chronological order.
God.
But I kind of want to follow the journey of 𝒋𝒐𝒍𝒍𝒐's training kind of month by month. And
the shadow looks like you have like a hair lock going down.
Okay, we're never going to get through this video. But yeah, I kind of want to update you guys month to month. And so this is the 2-month update on 𝒋𝒐𝒍𝒍𝒐. He's been doing great. I feel like we've been really getting to know each other. At the start of the month, I was quite busy and I was actually traveling. So he had some rest time. Since then, I've been back and he's been in work for about like 3 weeks, 2.5, 3 weeks. And he's been doing really, really good. So I kind of want to show you, we're going to head to the arena. I'm going to pop on and I kind of want to show you guys, and we're going to compare a little bit with the old footage as well. But yeah, I've been super, super happy with him. One thing that we have noticed is that he's dropping weight. And I think that's because the workload is kind of increasing a little bit. So I'm gonna get the team from Harnacke to come out and have a look. They're gonna come out with a nutritionist and we're gonna make a little bit of a plan for what's gonna be happening. Just so that we can support him better.
It's not the easiest name for you to say.
Harnacke. Yeah.
That one's better.
But yeah, so we're kind of onto it. His feet are doing really good. He's been shot a 2nd time. We've been going to a master farrier for him just to make sure that he's getting the right attention. And yeah, everything is going well. So I'm just gonna pop on my helmet and some gloves. We're gonna swing around and go into the indoor. And we're gonna get riding. Good boy. Since Meg's been here, she was like, why don't you leave the fork out? It looks so much nicer. So we've been doing that. We've been testing that look.
Stirrups.
You look like someone who's looking to either make a website or run your website on a better platform. Then Squarespace is where you need to be. Squarespace offers hundreds of already made templates where you can go in, pick your favorite one, still customize everything you want. You don't need to have any coding knowledge. It's super user friendly. I run my shop on there. I've been running my website on Squarespace for almost 4 years now. I truly, truly love the user experience. It's so easy to use on the go as well. You can make quick changes on your phone, whether it's updating stock levels, changing text, or changing the photos as well. If this sounds like what you're looking for, then do use my link, which is www.squarespace.com/MattHarnacke. In doing so, you receive 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. The arena's like fresh and ready to go. So a little update on even just 𝒋𝒐𝒍𝒍𝒐 on the ground and kind of how he is in the arena. You guys saw last time that he was a little bit scared. I feel like we've overcome a lot of that initial kind of stress and misunderstandings about his kind of surroundings. He's definitely a lot more comfortable. Even now, for instance, if I hit my foot on the wall or something like that, he doesn't get scared.
He spoke first.
And because they were riding him in an unsymmetrical arena in Spain, and they were not riding him along the outside, so he didn't really know where to put himself on the wall. He's still learning that a little bit, but it's much better. So I feel like he's much more confident in this space. So it just took some time for him to get used to it. But with all of that, he's been doing really, really good.
Yeah, helmet was shining, he was looking pretty, and I could see Andres in the background.
There you go. Win-win.
Thumbnail for you guys.
Yeah, so what's happening? Every time you're here, there's like this. No, but it's true.
Isn't it me?
Look, he's coming to you even. That's not appropriate. As I told you guys last time, this is a brand new saddle. So we needed 2 or 3 weeks for everything to kind of settle on the inside before we could get it fitted again. I've had it fitted again. We did some little adjustments, and for now it's going pretty good. We'll review again, I think, in about a month or so. But yeah, let me just show you a little bit of what I've been doing with him, because I think there's been some very, very positive changes.
I was watching you the other day ride, and I thought it looked really good and really like soft and kind of in tune together.
Oh, thanks. I think.
And then I changed my own riding. Yeah, well.
I think so. For you guys remember, I said from the very beginning, from the first moment I rode him, that I found him really stuck in the neck, and he was like you couldn't really do any flexion work. So on the last video, I showed you guys that as soon as I got on, I kind of just stood him still and then just very gently kind of like started to encourage, he's itchy now, but I very gently just started to encourage like the flexion in the neck, just to get him to supple up and to understand that that's what I wanted. And that's a step that I no longer need to do now, but I still do the same thing, but just not in such a basic way. So I'm just walking him, and then I'll just play with the flexion in the walk, and you can see he's like much softer and much more like willing to give. And so I'm kind of just playing with both sides like that, but I can do that now straight away in the walk, and the body doesn't move too much, he stays quite straight. And I really kind of just want this whole top line to be relaxed and to be nice and soft, and that's kind of what we're doing. You can see here when he starts to give into the flexion, send him a little bit more forward, but when he starts to give into the flexion, you see that this muscle is just kind of relaxed, and you start to see this muscle here as well, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. I don't want a tense neck or a neck that's really stuck and up. I just want it flexible, especially in the beginning. So yeah, and he'll look a little bit deep now, but I'm not too worried about that, because right now I just really want him thinking to supple in the pole, especially through my flexion. So it doesn't really matter how deep the head is right now, because he's putting it as deep as he needs it in order to do to flex. So that's where he's at right now, which is not a problem. You can hear it, but the mouth kind of like him chopping his lips together, that's gotten a lot better. So, and I feel like as he keeps getting more comfortable in this space and gets to know me, it might not be something that ever fully goes away, but it's certainly something that has been improving.
But can we try one time to do bitless? Not for you to per se like ride bitless, but just to see if he still would do it. I'm very curious.
Yeah, I think he would, because there's sometimes in the halter that it also happens.
But when you be like, you wouldn't like to see?
I mean, at some point I would like to try bitless for sure, but
you don't have to do a full ride, but just even if you do.
But I think right now we're at a stage where we're really trying to build on like a solid foundation, so I don't want to change too much.
Let's get to some trot, boy.
Yeah, we're gonna do some trot, and what I've been doing now, because I have a little bit more control with him, he's not as wriggly, I have been starting him with a little bit of a longer neck, and then I bring him up, whilst before I had to hold him a little bit more together from the start. So I'll show you guys a little bit of what I mean with that. So the transitions are also much better now. They're way more responsive off the leg. Good boy. I still need to, of course, remind him of just like the flexion and staying straight and all that kind of stuff, but I can do that now with a long rein, and we're still in control, whilst before we were kind of flying all over the arena. And it's funny because sometimes people are like, okay, well, you know, if it's difficult, just practice it. And I definitely agree, but sometimes you can fix something like this by doing something else, which is easier, and I think that's nicer for you and for the horse. And so that's why for me I said, okay, I'm just gonna ride him a little bit more together for a couple of weeks, and then I'm sure once he understands what I want with my legs and with my body, I can lengthen the reins and it's gonna be fine. I'm looking for him to kind of listen to my basic aids, forwards, backwards, especially like that playing with the flexion. And I don't want the tempo to change. That's something that is still not super consistent with 𝒋𝒐𝒍𝒍𝒐𝒘, is the tempo, and that's because they were riding him really back in Spain, and I've changed that. So he still doesn't have that like go-to tempo. That's something we're working on. So I really have to focus on the fact that we have our rhythm and we stay there. Good boy. But you guys can see, I don't know if you can remember from the last video, but the corners are definitely going much better now. And I'm able to really bring him deep in the corner with bend in the body. Good boy. And I kind of just take all the opportunities I can to soften right now whilst I'm warming up with the long rein. But he's way straighter. Like, as a rider, I have to do much less because the horse itself has learned it and is doing it for me. One thing I did notice with him, because his fitness levels is not really where they should be at yet, because he still needs some more time with that, is I don't spend too much time in the trot in the beginning. Like, it's better to go towards the canter quicker, That way he's not tired, and especially because the canter is more, I wouldn't say difficult. Oh, he's coming to say hi. I wouldn't say the canter is the more difficult pace, but it's where we have more work to do. So I tend to warm him up, at least especially in the last ride. I really felt a positive difference with warming him up like this and then bringing him into the canter and then doing some more collected trot stuff after that. Because if he gets tired before going into the canter, then it makes it a lot more difficult. Good boy. But I can really start to give my hand a little bit forward and he searches for it, and that's a really nice feeling.
His neck looks really nice and the ears are forward.
Yeah, and I just want to still make sure that he stays in front of my leg, but I don't want him to run, and that's kind of like a difficult feeling in the beginning to get, especially if you have a horse that's a little bit more lazy. But once you have it, it just helps so much with the connection in the body. For the canter, I don't know why, but I still feel like it's easier. Like I'm helping him, I'm setting him up better if I go from the walk. I just feel like I can go into the canter a little bit better. So I've still been doing that. I have been playing around with some trot transitions into the canter, but I feel like for now, it sets him up just a little bit better. So I've been doing that. And I've just been doing the same thing as what I was showing you guys last time, just getting the hind a little bit more awake. I don't want the walk to be faster, but I do want the hind to kind of come under a little bit and then canter off. So that's getting better because this was the more difficult side to do the transition, but that's definitely feeling better.
How do you say canter in Spanish?
I don't know. I think it's galoppo maybe? I'm not sure. So the frame that I have and that I've been using is a little bit longer than what you guys saw last time, and that's because I need to feel a little bit more what mistakes he's gonna make. So by going longer, I'm gonna feel just, okay, is he wriggling? Is he wanting to go down? Because if I'm just holding him up, I'm not gonna really be able to help too much, and I might be just hiding the problem. And I think this is, we were talking about it last time, I think this is one of my biggest mistakes as a rider that I constantly make, is I don't allow the horses to make the mistake. I'm just constantly fixing it before it happens, but it's only by them making the mistake that they can learn how they should do it instead. Because otherwise you're just constantly hiding the problem and you're not tackling it, I feel. So right now we're doing a little bit more of just a forward relaxed canter. And what I've felt, because he does get tired, so what I have felt to do is just go a little bit from that relaxed canter, then back down into trot, have a little bit of a trot, make him just have that little bit of rest, and then do more transitions in the canter rather than just a lot of laps. So I'll show you guys a little bit the transitions we've been doing from the trot to the canter. Not too bad. But then, after having warmed him up in the canter a bit, I'll take it back. And I'm just gonna ask for that connection and that jump from the hind, which is starting to get a lot better. So I want him just to be with me. Up. There we are, good boy. And just into the hand and powering along. And there's a really big difference with him, especially in the jump that you get when you have a canter like this that's connected, than if I'm just doing that kind of stretchy canter before, where I'm not really asking for too much engine. And the good thing is that I can really lift the canter a lot more now just with my leg, and that's been through this 3 weeks of work that we did, getting him to understand that it's not just the whip that means more hind end, it's also the leg, and it doesn't mean faster. It means just more engine. Good boy. Good, and then back. And then we can drop the neck again. Once again, I'm not too bothered about like the head being behind the vertical. This is where right now it's going with him. Like you can see that there's hardly any pressure on the rein. And it's something we're gonna work on over time. Good boy. And then with a soft contact, I'll go into the canter. Good boy. Very good. Nice. And I'm just trying to like turn him more with the shoulder. Easy, not too much. There you go. Good boy. So I'm trying to like really turn him with the shoulder so I'm not putting too much pressure on the mouth because I already know he wants to hang on to my outside rein. And I'm putting him very slightly into shoulder in. That way the inside hind leg is going a little bit more under and we're going to be able to have a little bit more support. But again, I still need more engine. Yeah, there, good boy. And when you make more engine, you'll find naturally the horse will kind of want to go into the contact and then you can give. There you go. Good boy. Easy, good boy. Very good. Good boy. And then I stretch him again. Very good. Easy. So I'll give him a walk and then I'm just going to finish the ride with a couple of laps of the trot, a bit more up, a bit more engaged, and kind of just reminding him to quicken the hind legs a little bit. So for those last kind of 5 minutes where I bring him up, the frame is going to come up and you can see that that's already happened. I'm going to go a little bit shorter in my reins. I still want him to stay in front of the leg. And I don't want him to rush too much. What I like that my trainer always says is because this is new, we're trying to ask for a little bit more hind leg and a little bit more suspension, just try and make it fun. So just do offer a lot of rewards for when it's going good and make sure that it's like a fun process. So we're gonna go into the trot just like normal. Good boy. The only thing different is now that the frame is up. And I'm gonna send them just first a little bit more forward. I find that you can do this in like sit trot or rising trot, it's no difference. But I wanna keep the frame up firstly and get him in front of my leg. And I need to have him soft in the hand. That's like the first thing. So here he's going a little bit too high in the frame. I can fix that with my leg. Good boy. Good there. And then what I'm gonna start to do is ask just for a little bit more hind leg. Good boy. So the whip is kind of saying make it quicker, and the front, my hands are saying, okay, but don't run. Take that suspension, that quickness a little bit into more air time. Good boy. So I do kind of like little increments of that and try and keep it kind of fun. And usually I'm being a little bit more vocal and kind of encouraging it, like just kind of talking to him. And then I'll go back and ask the same thing. And it doesn't have to be like long bursts that he has to do this. Just quick bursts where he understands what I'm saying and what I'm after. Good boy, back, not too fast, good boy. Good, there you are. Come on, up, up, up. And the whip is not to whip him hard, just enough to get a reaction. And you can see that now he's really going into the hand and he's starting to power through with the legs. Good boy. And I don't really have to do much. He's starting to understand what I'm after. Yeah, good boy. Good boy. Good boy. And that's it. I would take a couple of minutes to cool him down in the trot and then go back in the walk, cool him off there, and then he's finished for the day. So if it's not too late, he'd go back out in the field. The field is something that he's still getting used to a little bit. He's got a little bit of energy out there. I think that's been part of the issue with gaining the weight, is that he's quite active in there.
The other day I walked down the fields and I've never seen a horse rear up that high.
Yeah.
And his legs were flying, and then I think out of the rear he started rolling. I don't know what he was doing, but...
And that same day I arrived and both the front shoes had been ripped off. It was just the front shoes looking at me in the field and then him next to them, and like 2 meters apart. So I think he was having a very fun day. So But that's okay, I don't mind. I would rather have my horses out and then be a little bit excited and stuff. I would rather have that than them in a stable all day. The neighbors have now put like some mares and some foals in the fields opposite the stallions. That's something that's been triggering them a little bit too. So it's just gonna be a little bit about him getting used to it all. But so far he's been taking it all in his stride, and I'm not too worried about this feed thing. I think that's something that's gonna come around and he'll be okay. For the rest, we're just gonna continue with the training how we have planned. I'm gonna continue with my lessons, working with my trainer. I've got some other little ideas of what I can start to implement, like the aqua trainer, which we've just started, and it's been going really, really good. So yeah, stay updated for the next, that'll be the 3-month training update. And I'm gonna be looking at your feedback down below of if you guys saw a difference, if you didn't, what you thought. I'm gonna be checking out the comments, so do let me know what you think. But I'm sure I don't have to say that, because in writing videos, there's always a lot of opinions that come up. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.